If you love cruising but hate that sinking feeling when you see the final bill, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to walk through 40 clever tricks that help regular cruisers keep more cash in their pocket without feeling cheap. We're talking smarter bookings, quieter discounts, and small choices that add up over an entire week at sea. Stick around, grab a drink, and let's start unlocking the savings hiding inside your next cruise. Sailing off-peak with maximum flexibility. If you can slide your dates around and skip summer, holidays, and school breaks, you're already playing cruise moneyball. Off-peak and shoulder seasons often shave hundreds of dollars off the exact same ship, cabin type, and itinerary because demand simply isn't as crazy. Think March or April instead of mid-June, or late October and early November instead of peak August in the Mediterranean. Now, if you're retired or mostly work remotely, this is where your flexibility becomes a superpower. You can grab those oddly timed sailings right after Thanksgiving or in the first half of December when ships are fully decorated for the holidays but prices haven't spiked yet. Why pay Christmas week pricing when you can get the same twinkly lights for far less? Lock in those we-can-go-whenever dates, and suddenly you're getting the kind of deals cruise lines really don't want super flexible travelers to notice. Choosing older, refurbished ships. New ships with roller coasters, robot bartenders, and splashy marketing get all the attention and the price tags to match. Cruise lines know people will pay extra just to say they sailed the brand new megaship. Meanwhile, slightly older ships that have been refurbished quietly sail the same regions for much less per night, often with upgraded cabins, refreshed decor, and updated tech. Here's the thing, you're still getting great food, solid entertainment, and that same ocean view from the top deck. You might miss one water slide, but your wallet will feel a lot better. For many cruisers, that sweet spot is a ship that's maybe 10 to 20 years old, recently renovated and no longer priced as the shiny new toy. If your goal is smart, money-saving cruise hacks rather than bragging rights, picking a refreshed older ship is one of the easiest wins. Choosing itineraries with lower port fees. Most people obsess over the base fare and barely glance at that little line that says taxes and port fees. That's a huge mistake. Those fees can vary a lot depending on where your ship stops, especially in places with higher regulatory or environmental costs, like Alaska or certain European ports. Two itineraries that look similar on the surface can differ by hundreds of dollars once you add those charges. The fix is simple but powerful. When you're comparing options, scroll down and actually check that taxes and fees line instead of just the headline price. Short Caribbean loops with simpler ports often have much lower charges than complex routes packed with premium stops. If you're flexible on where you go, you can keep the same cruise budget but redirect more money to excursions and experiences instead of invisible port costs. That's one of those quiet savings cruise lines are never going to highlight for you. Repositioning cruises. Repositioning cruises are the oddballs of the cruise world, and that's exactly why they can save you a ton of money. These are those one-way sailings where ships move from, say, Europe to the Caribbean or Alaska, down to warmer waters, with lots of sea days and fewer ports. Because they're harder to fit into a traditional vacation schedule, the per-night price is often dramatically lower than a standard 7-night cruise. Is there a catch? Sure. You usually have to fly into one city and home from another, and you need enough vacation time to actually enjoy all those sea days. But if you genuinely love ship life, that's not a bug, it's the feature. You're basically getting a floating resort at a nightly rate that sometimes feels like it's missing a digit. It's one of those money-saving cruise hacks that feels almost too good, so cruise lines don't exactly shout about it from the rooftops. Choosing a home port close to home. Choosing a home port you can actually drive to is one of the fastest ways to slash your total cruise cost. Flights, checked bags, airport transfers, and an extra hotel night before sailing add up shockingly fast, especially for families. If you live within a reasonable drive of ports like Miami, Galveston, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, or Port Canaveral, it can be much cheaper to load up the car and head straight to the ship. Even if the cruise fare itself is a little higher out of your closest port, skipping 4 airline tickets and a pre-cruise hotel can still leave you way ahead. Parking for a week is often cheaper than a single round-trip flight. On top of that, driving keeps things simple. No tight flight connections, no lost luggage drama, no last-minute panic about making it to the ship. Sometimes the smartest hack isn't a secret discount code. It's just letting geography do the heavy lifting. Hotel and parking cruise packages. If you're driving in from out of town, stay and cruise or park and cruise hotel packages can be absolute gold. Instead of paying separately for a hotel, port parking, and transfers, you bundle them into one deal that usually costs less than parking at the port alone. Many hotels near major U.S. cruise ports now advertise packages that include one-night stay, parking for the duration of your cruise, and shuttle service to and from the terminal. The bonus is that you arrive rested instead of stumbling onto the ship after a pre-dawn drive. For multi-generational trips, that quiet night before sailing can be the difference between fun family vacation and why did we do this to ourselves. You save money, you reduce hassle, and you start your cruise in a much better mood. That's a lot of upside for just booking a smarter hotel. Cheaper transfers to and from port. Cruise line transfers look convenient, but they're often priced per person, which gets expensive very quickly. 2, 3, or 4 people paying a flat rate each from the airport to the pier can easily end up costing more than one rideshare or taxi for the whole group. In many U.S. ports, grabbing an Uber, Lyft, or regular cab ends up being the cheaper and more flexible option. You're also on your own schedule instead of waiting for a bus to fill or stopping at multiple terminals. The key is to plug the numbers into your phone before you book that cruise transfer and compare. Factor in things like luggage, traffic, and surge pricing, of course, but 9 times out of 10, private ground transportation wins on value for groups. Want a classic money-saving cruise hack that's not flashy but very real? This is one of the easiest to implement on day 1. Sign up for cruise line emails. This hack is so simple that a lot of people brush it off, which is a shame. Signing up for cruise line emails, even with a fresh email address, can unlock subscriber-only sales, bonus onboard credit offers, and sometimes even extra coupon codes towards your next booking. Lines know their email list is a powerful marketing tool, so they quietly reward people who are on it. You'll see flash sales, resident rates, kids sale-free promos, and limited-time bundle deals before the general public. Is your inbox going to get a little busy? Absolutely. But you can set up filters so those messages land in a separate folder and only open them when you're ready to hunt for a deal. Think of it like having a direct feed to discounts. Cruise lines are hoping only their most engaged fans will see. And if you really want to get sneaky, your spouse can sign up too. Hidden group and senior discounts. Many cruise lines quietly offer special rates or onboard credit for certain groups: military, first responders, teachers, residents of specific states, and yes, seniors. The surprising part is, they rarely go out of their way to remind you these exist. You often have to tick a box, enter your birth date, or flat out ask to see those fares. Seniors 55 and up can sometimes snag lower rates or bonus perks on select sailings, and retired travelers are a huge part of the cruise market. So here's the real question. Why pay what everyone else pays if you don't have to? Next time you search, make sure you mark the senior filter, or ask your travel agent to check resident, military, or other eligibility discounts for you. Individually, each offer may look small, but stacked with other promos, they become real money. This is classic stuff cruise lines don't highlight territory, and it's exactly where savvy cruisers win. AARP membership cruise benefits. AARP isn't just about magazines and retirement articles. For cruisers, it can be a quiet little money machine. Members can get extra onboard credit or discounted cruise fares through the AARP Travel Center, and some lines like Holland America offer up to $200 per stateroom in onboard credit on select sailings. In real life, that can cover your gratuities, a specialty dinner, or even a couple of spa visits. The membership fee is relatively low, and one well-chosen cruise can easily pay back that cost. The crazy part is that many people qualify by age and still never bother to sign up. You don't have to be fully retired to join, and you can stack these perks with other promos and loyalty benefits. If you like the idea of cruise lines quietly funding part of your fun through credits they hoped you'd never notice, AARP is one of the smartest, least flashy hacks you can use. Loyalty perks and status match. Loyalty programs are one of the biggest money-saving cruise hacks that cruise lines quietly hope you ignore. Joining is free, and every sailing you do bumps you up a little higher. Think free laundry bags, drink coupons, priority boarding, discount coupons in the shops, and sometimes even free internet minutes or specialty coffee. The trick is to actually read your benefits before you sail, then squeeze every last drop out of them. On top of that, some brands recognize status across sister lines, and others offer status match if you're already loyal to a competing cruise line or even a hotel chain. That means you jump straight into a higher tier instead of starting from zero. Used properly, loyalty turns every future cruise into a little more value and a little less spending, without changing anything except where you keep cruising. Big family and solo traveler promos. Families and solo cruisers usually end up overpaying, unless they know how to play the promotion game right. Kids sail free, third and fourth guest discounts, and reduced single supplements are some of the strongest hacks in the entire cruise world when you learn how to spot them. A family of 4 sharing one cabin during a kids sail free promo often pays only the adult fares plus taxes for the children, and that difference can easily reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's even better when the booking falls during shoulder season, since big family offers tend to disappear around school holidays or peak travel months. On the opposite side, solo travelers don't have to accept the full double fare anymore. Several cruise lines now offer reduced single supplements or even dedicated solo staterooms with better pricing baked in. You won't always find them year-round, but when the stars align, the savings are huge, especially on repositioning sailings and off-season itineraries. Stack these promos with resident discounts, senior rates, loyalty perks, casino offers, or an onboard booking bonus, and the final total looks completely different. It feels a bit like finding cheat codes in the pricing system, and once you know they exist, it's hard not to chase them. Booking early and protecting your price. Cruise lines love people who book early, and to be fair, early birds usually get great prices and the best choice of cabins. Fares often start low when itineraries first open, then creep up as the ship fills, especially for popular dates like spring break or holiday weeks. Here's where the real hack kicks in. On many major lines, if the price drops before final payment, you can call your travel agent or the cruise line and ask for a price adjustment or onboard credit. Some brands even promote this with formal best price guarantee policies on their sites. So why not let the cruise line's own system work in your favor? Set reminders to recheck your fare every couple of weeks. When you see a drop, you are not unlucky, you are prepared, and that preparation can translate into hundreds of dollars back in your pocket without changing a single thing about your trip. Black Friday cruise sales. Black Friday and the early wave season months are like a mini holiday for deal hunters who love the ocean. Cruise lines roll out big headline offers with lower fares, extra onboard credit, free Wi-Fi, drink packages, or prepaid gratuities bundled in. It's not always the rock-bottom base fare of the entire year, but when you add up the value of those extras, the total package can be outstanding. If you already know you want to cruise in the next year or so, this is the time to line up your short list and watch for the right offer to hit. The key is not to book just because it says Black Friday in big red letters. Instead, compare what is included to your normal spending habits. If the sale covers things you were going to pay for anyway, you are not just chasing a sticker, you are grabbing real savings. Last-minute cruise deals. On the other side of the calendar, you have last-minute deals, the playground of flexible travelers. When a sailing is a few weeks away and too many cabins are still empty, prices often start sliding down to fill the ship. If you live near a port and can throw a suitcase together quickly, this can be a fantastic way to score a cruise at a price that looks like a typo. Of course, there are trade-offs. You might not get your dream cabin location or even your first choice itinerary. Think of it more like, I want a cheap week at sea, then I must sail this exact ship to this exact place. If you can treat the ship as the destination and roll with the surprises, last-minute deals can feel a bit like winning a game where the prize is balcony sunsets for inside cabin money. Booking a guarantee cabin. Guarantee cabins are one of those things experienced cruisers either love or absolutely avoid. You pick the category, like inside or balcony, but you let the cruise line decide the exact cabin number. In exchange for giving up control, you usually pay less than people who choose a specific room. You might end up in a perfectly fine midship cabin, or near an elevator, or in a spot that is a little noisier than you would have liked. That uncertainty is the trade. This hack works best for travelers who care more about saving money than about being on a particular deck or side of the ship. If you are easygoing about location and focused on value, a guarantee can slide you into the same category as everyone else while your credit card breathes a little easier. Choosing inside or ocean view cabins. Balconies are wonderful, but they are also a luxury, and cruise lines price them that way. Inside and ocean view cabins usually cost significantly less on the same sailing, even though you are getting access to the exact same ship, food, shows, and amenities. If you are the type who is out exploring from breakfast until late at night, how much will you actually use that balcony anyway? Many longtime cruisers quietly switched to inside cabins when balcony prices climbed, then used the savings to cruise more often or upgrade other parts of the trip. You can always enjoy fresh air on deck with a bigger view and someone else handling your drinks. In a video about money-saving cruise hacks, this is one of the simplest mindset shifts. Pay for what you truly use, not for the marketing photo. Shareholder onboard credit benefit. Here's one that sounds almost too inside baseball to be real, but it is. Big cruise companies like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian offer onboard credit to shareholders who hold at least 100 shares and sail with one of their brands. The amount varies by company and cruise length, but it can go up to a few $100s per cabin. That credit works like bonus spending money for drinks, specialty dining, spa visits, or shore excursions. Of course, this is still an investment in the stock market with all the usual risks, so it's not a buy shares only for the perks situation. But if you already like the idea of investing in cruise lines and you cruise them regularly, this hack turns your shareholder status into something you can literally taste in the form of extra desserts and cappuccinos, using the right travel credit card. If you're paying for a cruise in full, you might as well make that big charge work for you. Using a solid travel rewards credit card can earn you a pile of points or miles that later cover flights, hotels, or even another cruise. Some cards also include cruise-specific perks, like extra points on travel purchases or onboard credits and amenities when you book through their preferred programs. Have you ever seen someone board with priority check-in, free Wi-Fi, and a statement credit and wondered how they pulled that off? Very often, the answer is the right card matched with the right promotion. Time your cruise payment to help meet a welcome bonus spending requirement, and you could walk away with enough rewards to help fund your next vacation. That way, one smartly planned cruise does double duty, giving you a trip now and points for later. Using a cruise travel agent. In the age of online booking, many people assume travel agents are a thing of the past, but cruise specialists are very much alive and quietly saving their clients money. A good agent knows each line's quirks, current promotions, and unadvertised group rates that don't always show up on public websites. They're often able to add onboard credit, small gifts, or price adjustments out of their own commission without charging you a fee. On top of that, they help you avoid expensive mistakes, like picking a noisy cabin under the pool deck or booking flights that are way too tight. Think of a cruise travel agent as your personal anti-chaos filter who also watches your wallet. You still get to enjoy browsing ships and itineraries, but they handle the fine print and the phone calls, so you can focus on daydreaming about sea days instead of listening to hold music. Booking your next cruise on board. Booking on board is one of those classic money-saving moves that still works if you use it the right way. Most cruise lines have a future cruise or next cruise desk, where you can put down a reduced deposit and grab extra perks, like onboard credit or a small fare discount for a future sailing. Many of them let you make an open booking, then pick the exact ship and itinerary later with your travel agent. So you keep all the benefits but still stay flexible. Already know you're going to cruise again in the next year or two? In that case, this is basically free money on something you were going to buy anyway. The key is to only book what truly fits your budget, not to let the limited time offer push you into a bigger cabin or more expensive sailing just because you're feeling vacation happy. Norwegian Cruise First Certificates. Norwegian's Cruise First Certificates are a very specific hack, but when they fit your plans, they can be insanely good value. You pay a set amount up front, for example, $150, and Norwegian turns that into $300 of cruise credit that you apply to a future booking. It's like buying a gift card that instantly doubles in value, but with rules you really need to read. Certificates usually have an expiration window, are tied to certain minimum fares, and can't be used to pay taxes and port fees. They also might be limited to one per cabin on a single booking. If you already know you want another Norwegian cruise and your dates are flexible, Cruise First can stack very nicely with regular sales and onboard offers. That way, the line quietly hands you a big discount without really advertising it. Bringing essentials from home. One of the easiest ways to keep your onboard bill under control is to pack a tiny cruise survival kit from home. Think painkillers, motion sickness tablets, bandages, throat lozenges, basic first aid, plus your usual toiletries and sunscreen. Onboard shops often charge eye-watering prices for these basics, and a quick visit to the medical center for something minor can cost far more than you expect. Why pay ship pharmacy prices for headache pills you already have in your bathroom cabinet? Toss in a reusable water bottle too so you can refill at buffets and drink stations instead of buying single-use bottles every time you're thirsty. None of this is glamorous, but it saves a surprising amount of money and stress when the seas get a bit rough or someone in the family wakes up with a sore throat. Avoiding onboard ATMs. Those shiny ATMs tucked into the corner of the atrium aren't there to help your budget. Fees on cruise ship cash machines are often much higher than what you're used to at home, and that's before your own bank adds its cut on top. Pulling out a couple of $100s in small chunks can quietly cost you the equivalent of a nice specialty dinner. It's usually far cheaper to grab cash at a bank ATM in port or to bring the cash you know you'll need for tips, taxis, and markets. If you like having a little extra just-in-case money, grab it on land before you board. Think of onboard ATMs as slot machines that spit out 20s instead of flashing lights, and you'll be much less tempted to feed them. Monitoring your onboard account. Cruise lines make it incredibly easy to tap your card, sign the slip, and float through the week without really thinking about what you're spending. That's great for the vibe, but not so great for your budget. A simple fix is to check your onboard account once a day in the app or on your cabin TV. Ever seen that final statement and thought, wait, whose vacation is this? Catching patterns early lets you adjust before things spiral. Maybe the specialty coffees are adding up, or your teenager has discovered the arcade. You'll also spot any wrong charges while you're still on board, and guest services can fix them quickly. It takes 2 minutes before bed and turns a scary last night bill into something you already know and control. Free drinks and happy hours on board. If you're not a huge drinker, skipping the full beverage package and hunting down free or discounted drinks can be a smart move. Many lines offer complimentary champagne or cocktails at art auctions, past passenger parties, captain's receptions, or special shopping events. On top of that, some ships still run happy hours in specific bars where drinks are half price or there's a cocktail of the day that's much cheaper than the regular menu. The trick is to study your daily program like a bargain hunter going through a sale flyer. Plan your pre-dinner drink around those windows instead of random bar runs, and you can enjoy almost the same experience for a fraction of the cost. You still get the fun vacation vibe, just without the "how did we spend that much at the bar" shock later. Skipping expensive souvenir drinkware. Those neon margaritas and giant souvenir glasses look fun on day one, but your wallet and your suitcase won't be as excited. The exact same drink usually costs several dollars more when it comes in a collectible cup compared to a standard glass. Multiply that by a whole week of "sure, why not," and you've just paid for a decent shore excursion in plastic. If you really love a particular design, buy just one near the end of the cruise and use it as your water cup at home. Otherwise, get into the habit of saying, "Regular glass is fine, thanks." You'll drink the same frozen piña colada, enjoy the same sail-away sunset, and avoid coming home with a cupboard full of cups that seem to multiply every time you open the door. Pre-booking beverage packages and extras. Cruise lines love when you wait until you're on board to buy things, because the prices are often higher. Before you sail, keep an eye on your cruise planner or online account for sales on drink packages, Wi-Fi plans, spa passes, and even shore excursions. Many lines discount these extras if you pre-purchase them, sometimes by 10 to 15% compared with onboard rates. The real key is to be honest about your habits, so you don't buy more package than you'll actually use. Count how many drinks a day you realistically have, or how much time you actually spend online. If the math works in your favor and there's a sale happening, locking everything in ahead of time can turn into one of those low-key cruise hacks that quietly save you real money later. First day on board offers. Embarkation day is chaos in the best way. People are exploring the ship, hunting down the buffet, and just trying to figure out where their cabin even is. Because everyone's distracted, some venues quietly roll out first-night deals to lure you in. The spa might offer discounted treatments or mini sampler packages that are cheaper than later in the week. A specialty restaurant might throw in a free bottle of wine or a lower fixed price if you dine that very first evening. As soon as you board and connect to the app or grab the paper planner, check for any day one only offers and decide what's worth grabbing. If it's something you genuinely wanted to try anyway, booking it on embarkation night can feel like getting a secret upgrade that other passengers walk right past. Spa deals on port days. If you've ever walked past the spa on a sea day, you know it can feel busy and pricey at the same time. Port days are a totally different story. When most people are off the ship on excursions, the spa suddenly has empty slots that they're very motivated to fill, often with discounts, bonus minutes, or bundled treatments. If there's a port you're not excited about, or you've already visited, consider staying on board for at least part of the day and treating yourself. You get a quieter spa, less crowded pools, and a lower bill at the end of your massage. It's one of those sneaky money-saving moves where you feel extra pampered while actually spending less than you would on a busy sea day. Lunching in specialty restaurants. Grabbing lunch in a specialty restaurant is one of the easiest smart swaps you can make. Many ships open their steakhouse, Italian, or sushi spot on sea days at midday with a reduced menu and a noticeably lower price than at dinner. The food comes out of the exact same kitchen, often from the same chef, just with fewer courses and a much more relaxed vibe. Instead of paying the full evening surcharge several times, you can splurge on 1 or 2 special lunches, then lean on the included main dining room or buffet for dinner the rest of the week. Check your daily planner or the app early in the cruise, because lunch openings can be limited to certain days, and they do book up fast. It's a simple way to sample the fancy side of the ship while still keeping your overall food budget under control. Saving on internet, on board, and in port. Cruise Wi-Fi has improved a lot, but the prices can still sting. Instead of everyone buying their own unlimited plan, grab one basic package and share it by logging out when you're done so the next person can log in. Some lines even sell multi-device plans that are cheaper per person than buying them separately. Before you sail, download shows, playlists, and offline maps so you're not burning data on stuff you could have handled at home. For heavy tasks like backing up photos or big uploads, wait until you're in port and jump on free or cheap Wi-Fi at the terminal or a cafe. Do you really need to be scrolling by the pool all afternoon? Or is a quick check-in twice a day enough? With a bit of discipline and planning, you stay connected without letting the Wi-Fi bill eat into your excursion money. DIY cruise photos with ship backdrops. Those professional photo backdrops with perfect lighting and tropical scenes are tempting, but the photo packages can get pricey fast. On many ships, a single printed photo sits around $25, and full digital bundles often land somewhere between $150 and $300, depending on the line and how many shots you want. That's a pretty big bite out of your onboard budget for a few smiling faces in front of a palm tree background. Here's a quieter workaround. When the ship photographers finish a session or the backdrop isn't staffed, you can politely step in and use the exact same setup with your own phone or camera. Find good natural light, switch on portrait mode, and snap as many poses as you need until everyone looks human and not in mid-blink. Your friends back home will only see the final photo, not who pressed the button or whether you were holding a DSLR or a phone with a cracked screen. You walk away with great keepsakes, zero pressure to buy an expensive bundle, and the freedom to retake every shot until you're genuinely happy with it. Same backdrop, same memory, and hundreds saved. Prepaying cruise extras. Prepaying some extras sounds boring, but it can be a powerful money move if you use it wisely. Many cruise lines let you pay gratuities, drink packages, Wi-Fi, and even specialty dining before you sail, sometimes at a slightly lower rate than onboard. That does two things for you. First, it spreads the cost over several months instead of hitting your card all at once during vacation week. Second, it makes the cruise itself feel almost paid off when you step on the ship, which takes a lot of stress out of every little spending decision. The key is to only prepay what you're almost certain to use, not random add-ons that sound nice in the moment. When the numbers work in your favor and there's a decent pre-cruise sale, locking things in early turns into a quiet little financial win in the background. Independent tours and exploring ports on your own. Official ship excursions are convenient, but you definitely pay for that convenience. In many ports, booking with reputable local operators can be 30 to 50% cheaper than the ship's version of the same tour, especially if you have a small group. You'll often get fewer people, more flexible itineraries, and a guide who really knows the area because they live there. In other ports, you might not need a tour at all. With a bit of research before you sail, you can walk into town, grab a taxi to a nearby beach, or follow a simple self-guided route through the historic center. The catch is that you need to know the all-aboard time and build in a healthy safety margin because independent tours don't come with the ship's "will wait if you're late" guarantee. If you're organized and comfortable planning ahead, the extra freedom and savings can be huge. Choosing basic excursion versions. When you're looking at excursions, you'll often see two versions of the same experience. One is the simple option that covers transport and the main activity. The other piles on extras like buffet lunch, open bar, or unlimited drinks and snacks, with a price that jumps way up. Before you click the more expensive option, be honest with yourself. Are you really going to drink enough cocktails at the beach to make that all-inclusive upgrade worthwhile? Or would you rather pick your own lunch spot later? In a lot of cases, the basic version gives you the exact same core experience, just without extras you might not fully use. You still get the ruins, the snorkeling, the city tour, or the beach club access, but you keep control over where and how you spend on food and drinks. Less bundled fluff, more money left for the experiences you actually care about. Using local transport. Shuttles and ship-organized transfers are easy, but they're almost never the cheapest way to get around. Many ports have buses, trams, metros, or even local ferries that connect the pier to the city center or main beach for just a few dollars. In European cities especially, it's common to ride a train from the port area straight into downtown for a fraction of the cruise shuttle price. Before you sail, check the port's official website or recent cruiser reviews to see how people are getting around. Screenshots of maps and routes on your phone are your best friend. Once you're offline, moving like a local adds a bit of adventure and often more authentic moments than sitting in a big tour bus. Just keep an eye on the clock and aim to be back in the port area well ahead of all aboard time so your bargain ride doesn't turn into an expensive mistake. Bargaining in local markets. In many cruise destinations, especially in parts of the Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, and Asia, bargaining in markets is completely normal. Prices on souvenirs, crafts, and small services often start higher because vendors expect a bit of friendly negotiation. Ever bought something, walked 2 stalls down, and seen the exact same item for less? Learning to bargain politely helps avoid that sting. The goal isn't to win against the seller, it's to land on a price that feels fair for both of you. Start with a friendly smile, ask the price, then counter with something lower but reasonable. If it's too high, thank them and slowly walk away. No hard feelings. Many times they'll call you back with a better offer. At the same time, respect fixed-price shops and cultural norms where haggling isn't appropriate. Done right, bargaining becomes both a money saver and a small cultural experience you'll remember. Staying on the ship in port. Skipping a port can feel wrong at first, but sometimes the smartest budget move is to treat the ship itself as your destination. If you've already seen that city, or the excursion prices are eye-watering, staying on board turns into a kind of private resort day. Pools are quieter, hot tubs are free, loungers magically appear, and there's no extra bill for lunch because you're eating what you already paid for. It's basically an introvert's dream all-inclusive day without spending an extra dollar. On many ships, the spa, shops, or photo studio roll out port day specials to fill empty slots, so you might even score a discounted massage or deal on photos. Meanwhile, everyone else is paying for taxis, tours, and meals ashore. Using 1 or 2 ports as ship days is a great way to rest, actually enjoy the facilities, and keep your overall cruise budget in check. Travel and medical insurance for seniors. For seniors, one of the biggest hidden money traps isn't the bar bill or the excursions, it's medical costs if something goes wrong. In many cases, standard health coverage back home doesn't pay for treatment at sea or in foreign ports. An emergency evacuation from a ship can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. A solid travel insurance policy with medical and trip interruption coverage protects you from that kind of financial shock. Think of it as guarding your retirement savings from one unlucky fall or sudden illness. Look for plans that cover pre-existing conditions when purchased within a set window after booking, and read the fine print about age limits and coverage caps. Some senior-focused organizations and credit cards offer surprisingly good bundled coverage if you pay for the trip with their card. It's not a visible discount like a sale, but avoiding a catastrophic bill is one of the smartest money moves you can make. And that wraps up our tour through 40 money-saving cruise hacks that cruise lines would really prefer you never noticed. If this helped you rethink how you book, spend, and save at sea, don't head back to shore just yet. There are plenty more insider tricks, destination guides, and real-world cruise tips waiting for you. Check out the next video on screen, hit subscribe, and let's keep turning full-price cruises into smart, value-packed vacations. Until next time, fair winds, smooth sailing, and may your final bill always be lower than you expect.